Hello and welcome to Casual Learning. I'm your host, John Bannon. Today I'm going to review chapter 19 of my newest book, God and Our Superdeterministic Universe, the number one argument for the existence of God. This book is available on Amazon Kindle. Chapter 19 is entitled Predetermined Knowledge. Because our universe is a predetermined static block reality without temporal causation, as proven by Dr. Hansen, then all knowledge in the universe must be predetermined. This means that the creator of our predetermined universe must have known of and understood all knowledge that exists in the universe in order to predetermine its existence in the universe. So the idea that knowledge is new to the universe is completely false. It's not. It's all known to God in order to predetermine its existence in the universe. So some people might argue that the metaphysically, ontologically real, continuous causal force of nature, some call the laws of physics or the wave function, creates new knowledge at every moment of time as it unfolds in space time from nothing. That's not true. Not true at all, because the universe is predetermined in a static block reality without temporal causation, which means that the laws of physics are not metaphysically, ontologically real, and neither is the wave function. So there's no mechanism for bringing truly new, novel knowledge into the universe. So all knowledge has to be predetermined knowledge already known to God before the universe was created. So um, any knowledge human beings acquire was predetermined to be acquired, hence already known by the Creator. In no sense do human beings define what it means to be human. Some people think that because there's novel knowledge in the universe, that knowledge as to what it means to be a human being is simply new knowledge. There's no pre existing objective knowledge. And therefore, understanding what it means to be a human being is fluid. And it can be really whatever you want it to be. And everybody's subjective perspective on that issue is correct because it's all new knowledge from nothingness. And therefore, who's to say who was right and wrong about the question of what it means to be human? That whole idea is completely false, because there's no actual new knowledge in the universe. And what it means to be a human being had to be known and understood by God in order for God to predetermine the existence of human beings into the universe. So there is, in fact, objective knowledge of what it means to be a human being. And it's known by God, and God has presented it into the universe as predetermined knowledge. All knowledge in the universe ultimately originates with God as the creator of that predetermined knowledge. In a predetermined universe, one's meaning and purpose is simply being part of God's predetermined plan for the universe. There is no point in thinking one's meaning and purpose lies elsewhere when one cannot change one's predetermined life. Jesus Christ on earth told us what our meaning and purpose was, and that is to seek eternal life in heaven. That was the purpose God gave us. And only your Creator can give you a purpose, because that's the very definition of purpose and meaning, that which the Creator gave for creating something. So God has told us what our purpose is. It is to seek eternal life in heaven and hopefully obtain it. Only the Creator can give your life meaning and purpose, um, which essentially asks, why were you created to begin with? And the answer is so that you could seek and hopefully obtain eternal life in heaven. It's important to understand that um, God has a plan, and the universe, being generally strictly deterministic, depends upon even the smallest details to determine a particular future. So one's existence is always important in God's predetermined plan for the entire universal history, regardless of how insignificant or small one might appear or feel. So, because in a predetermined universe, which is generally strictly deterministic, where the past creates the future and the future retro causes the past, at least there's an appearance of causation, then everything that happens codepends on everything else that happens because they're in this causal, retro causal, um, ordered uh, um, loop, essentially, of causality, at least an appearance of causality. And therefore, everything depends on everything else for its existence. So, in that sort of uh, predetermined, strictly deterministic static block reality, it's impossible to claim that anything is more causally important than anything else because they're all codependent on each other for their very existence. So, being part of God's plan, whatever your role is in that plan, is always significant to the entire history of the universe. Um, some may claim that because we are not born with knowledge of God, then the concept of God is false knowledge later invented. However, all human knowledge is predetermined, knowledge given by God, regardless of whether the knowledge is innate or not. So, because God predetermines the universe and predetermines all the knowledge all human beings will ever acquire, then it's God's decision to give us that knowledge. Whether that knowledge is inborn or not doesn't make any difference whatsoever. The knowledge given by God is all that knowledge. This, of course, does not mean that all predetermined knowledge is true, but even untrue knowledge is part of God's strictly deterministic plan for the universe. False knowledge, like false steps, may be necessary for progress toward true knowledge in a strictly deterministic universe that favors trial and error processes that use small, gradual changes towards success. Um, so one might wonder, well, why would God give us false knowledge? And the answer is that the universe uses trial and error processes in a strictly deterministic universe that necessarily requires false knowledge in order to develop truer knowledge. Plus, the universe does not generally offer present true knowledge of the exact predetermined future because one cannot change a predetermined future, even if temporal causation were real, in order to allow such a change. You can't change a predetermined future because then it wouldn't be predetermined. So, the predetermined nature of our universe without temporal causation ensures a constant source of inexact or false knowledge about the predetermined future. So, The existence of false knowledge is inherent to the very design of our universe, being strictly deterministic, where you cannot change a predetermined future. Plus, where you have gradual changes through the hyperplanes of space-time, favoring trial and error processes, which use false knowledge to eventually gain true knowledge. So, false knowledge is really just inherent to the workings of our universe. Um, so, I hope you learned something. Uh, the next video is going to be on chapter 20, which is entitled Hindsight is 2020. Okay, take care.